Hello once again, and thank you once again for tuning into the Elle Scoop Show, the show that gives you the scoop on life, entertainment, and current trends. All right, we've got three ladies here with us today. As usual, Freda Harris, who is a business owner, Melody Westerfield, who is the creator of Drinks and Dialogue, and then we've got Zuri Johnson, who's Miss Ohio plus America.
Yes, thank you.
We got your title right this time. Amen. Listen, you all, the heat is coming into Frankfurt, okay? And as you all know, that fashion comes out in the summer. I think it's there in the winter, but it comes out in the summer. Now, men, for example, are doing lots of different things. We've got the skinny drop crotch jogging pants. We've got man buns. We've got sew-ins and weaves, and even for men.
Oh, we're talking about men still.
Yes, we're talking about men still.
Okay.
I want to know this. Would you be willing to date a man if you didn't like his sense of fashion?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll say yes, just because, from my experience, when you tell a man certain things that you like, then they, if they like you, tend to go out and get those things. Or if you tell them that you like them in a certain color, then they tend to go out there. So
they'll buy 12 of them.
There you go. Okay. So if the fashion isn't there at the beginning, we can work with that as long as, they're willing to work with it. I'm not going to go tell them that they look ugly in it, but I will say, honey, that color, that looks really good on you. Like, I really like that color.
Drop crotch pants again today.
You look like me in leggings.
It's not a cute statement. I'm sorry. It's not. I can't.
I actually like the drop crotch jogging pants. I don't think they're bad. I think it adds a little swag to a man. Now, sew-ins and actually,
I like man buns.
I like man buns, but I don't like sew-ins.
Okay, let's keep it all the way real.
Not.
If your pants are big enough, it's not too bad, right?
Everything ain't for everybody.
Okay, amen.
Okay. That kind of leads me to dating a man that is more fashionable forward than you.
Spending more time in the mirror.
Spending more time
Listen.
on his lips than I am on mine.
Okay, I say my rule is if you do your eyebrows, then I'm side-eyeing everybody.
Yeah,
right.
I'm on.
It's questionable.
I'm on that bandwagon. If you
Keeping
plucking,
them tight now.
plucking them. But at the end of the day, I don't like that unibrow thing either. I mean, just keep it masculine, I think.
Like a
But if you have
metrosexual type, the nails done, pedicures, all those things.
Well,
If it
I feel
gets
like
overboard.
we have to
Manicured
find a
man.
balance, though, because we have the men that are dressing, quote unquote thug, their pants sagging, all this stuff. They go that way. And then we have the men that are coming back with their suits and they tailored suits and everything's fitting right. Look, I want the tailored suit. And then, you could pull a little bit, because I'm from Dayton, Ohio, so I can appreciate a little bit. I can appreciate a little bit of thug. I can appreciate a little
on the
bit.
side.
give me a little dirty man. I just take a real dirty man.
Clean them up.
Just a whole bunch of dirt under the nails. I'm with it.
Hard working.
That's a hard worker.
Talking about a hard worker. Yeah.
They say if your hands are smooth,
I like the
Swimming
scruffy
in
beard.
mud.
keep
Oh, the
moving.
scruffy beard. Yeah, I like the beard. Now, if it looks like your beard is manicured, where you got you put some highlight around it to accentuate the edges of it, that's a bit too much.
okay,
If the
wait a
barber
minute.
didn't do that,
I'll
then you
say
need to
this,
chill
though.
out.
I'm not okay with it as long as it's not too much. Like if a man looks better with kind of an outlined hairline,
Like the Sharpie outline here.
if you can't tell and it looks natural, I'm okay with that. If you do your eyebrows and you paint your nails and you switch walking down the street, then you're not the man for me.
So you say
But for
somebody.
somebody, but for somebody,
I
not
don't-
you.
Skinny jeans, no. Fitted jeans, yes.
Okay,
There's
there
a
is a
difference.
difference. There
There
is a
is a
difference. Okay.
I like the whole fitted.
Now, the
like
funny
the
thing
tension
about
of
that
that.
is a lot of men have go to the women's section for some skinny jeans and some really more fitted tight tops. They might go to the women's section. But recently there was a study done as far as women's products that in some areas there's an actual gender tax where women's products that might be similar to a man's, they're actually charging more, like deodorant, shaving cream, women's sanitary products, those type things.
so much more.
They charge more.
It costs so much
Well,
more.
that's
to
because
be
they
alone.
know we're going to the store to get it. I mean, those are things that we are always going to have. Men don't always wear lotion. I know you all know men that don't wear lotion.
That's true.
They're
I can't even
borrow.
get
okay
side
with
eye
going
on them.
dry. But What do
But
you think
as
about
far
it?
as a deodorant or something, we both, men
Absolutely.
and women, we are both in the same deodorant aisle. Why does yours cost 70 cents more than
It
mine?
ain't right.
It's not.
It's not right.
70 cents more or 70 cents less?
Why does yours cost 70 cents less
Okay.
than mine?
Well, men have more expensive clothes. They don't catch the deals on the sale rack at some stores
I don't
than
agree.
women.
Me too.
Oh,
I don't agree with
Wait,
that.
wait a
Size
minute.
woman.
I'm
Okay,
not with
okay,
it.
okay. So I don't know
Right.
much about plus size fashion.
Well, as
That is
we
true.
can
There we go.
True. All right, that just
We
happened.
talked about that.
We coming for you.
Based on the stories that I know about, men's fashion costs a little bit more than women's.
We're going to take her
We get-
shopping with us.
Right.
We get in the clothes. We get discounts. There are more discounts that women receive than men, and the fashion's a little bit more for women than it is for men.
Look at Mel.
So you know I'm itching.
Okay.
So we talked about this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Regular size men and plus women, they're equivalent to each other because plus size women, they are spending more money on their clothes. They don't get everything off. They can't get everything off that clearance rack.
Right.
Trust, this
Yeah.
wasn't $5.
Right. Everything ain't clearance.
Right.
Well,
And
okay,
so
so men,
it's
big and tall
equal.
men though, men that shop big and tall, they're added.
That's
I'm
true.
sure that
That's
their clothes are
true.
more expensive.
You know, because the height thing,
Yeah.
I've gone shopping for some tall people.
All right now.
And it is a little bit tougher. I'm just saying. I'm
put it
just
out there.
She
saying.
said people though.
I'm just saying.
More than one. More than
Talking
one.
about my father is 6'6", so we'll just
Okay.
it's
We'll
big
let
and
that
tall.
ride
Christmas
today.
presents are expensive.
Christmas presents and birthday presents.
Yes.
We'll let that live.
I have a question for y'all. Y'all heard of Malachi Love? He's the 18-year-old that is a teen that decided that
yes,
at
girl.
West Palm Beach that decided that he would open his own medical malpractice, and he was caught. He's not a doctor in any way, but was caught examining women.
I know
What do
he's
you all
not
think
a
about
doctor
this?
Because he's 18. It's too many years in medical
In between,
school.
yeah.
Well, he was recently released on bond for $21,000.
Did he get out?
Yes,
I didn't know he
for
got
practicing without a license for fraud and also grand theft auto. Do you
Grand
think?
Theft Auto?
Grand theft auto,
Stole a
because that's a
car.
lot of money. Or I don't know. It says grand theft. Well, just grand theft. We'll say that.
Look, she's like, I know.
What do you? What do you think about his final? What do you think about his final punishment? Do you think that that's enough? Do you think that he deserves jail time, or is probation enough for him?
If they don't put him in jail, he is guaranteed to be between somebody else's legs.
Absolutely.
Then he
Dude.
got to put him in
He
jail.
wasn't checking
Right.
temperature.
He was pretending to be an OBGYN.
Trying to figure out
Wait.
who let him do it.
But he
Right.
said that he was
He's getting
literally just, he was interning, is what he said.
Can't
No,
be.
you're not
thoughts.
interning
Can't be.
between nobody. Not over here, you're not interning.
Every
It's
intern
not-
has to enter into a room with the doctor or the nurse. They don't just let the interns go in and out the patient's rooms by themselves. He was in between somebody's good legs.
Several.
Right.
Several.
But then you hadn't intern or not, you still didn't go to medical school. So
yeah,
you're not
that's
an
the-
intern.
that's the-
intern
He has a
means that you
website
went
and
to
everything,
school.
though.
So there was another case like this not
gotta
too long
check
ago, about
this.
3 years ago, with another 18-year-old who impersonated a doctor, and they let him out on probation. However, months later, he was back in jail again because he was impersonating a police officer.
This is
So-
like that movie with
Catch Me
Leo,
If You
Catch
Can.
Me If You Can.
Yes.
Right, except he wasn't trying to be a doctor, was he? No.
Yeah,
and
he
that was a movie.
He was a doctor. He was a
School teacher?
a pilot.
Oh,
He was everything.
Yeah, he
man.
was.
but
I
that
don't
was a
think that-
fictional movie.
This guy,
This
this
is real life.
kid, this teenager is, I mean, he's not really trying to be caught. He really thinks he's a doctor.
But that movie was based on a true story.
Yeah, it was. It sure was.
Well,
Yes,
I'm
it
If
was.
he's
asking
a lawyer, he's going to
everybody.
represent himself.
No, I'm asking
no,
everybody.
Okay, listen.
I need credentials.
We have to go to break. We've done it again.
Okay.
Listen, when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Donald Trump, that is.
The Donald.
Yes, the Donald. And we'll also be talking about the black vote. You all stay tuned and get scooped. All right, and we're back after a very interesting break. What do you ladies think about the 2016 presidential election?
Oh my gosh. Have you all seen the news recently? I think it was last week, maybe in Louisville, Kentucky. Donald Trump had a rally, and there was a young black lady who was there peacefully protesting, and the video went viral. I mean, it went national. Unfortunately, the local Louisville news didn't really cover it, but they were shown pushing and shoving her down through the line, and she was being escorted out, as they called it. And while this was all going on, there was a lot of flack on social media about it. Some people were saying that she shouldn't have even been there in the first place. What do you all think about that? Do we not have a right to go and be where we want to be?
Yes, I totally agree. However, I say that if you lay down with fleas, if you lay down with dogs, you can't expect to get fleas, right? So
like that,
with what I want to say, you never heard that before?
I did,
If you lay
but
down with dogs, you can't expect to get fleas?
You
Right?
can't expect
You
to get,
expect to
yeah,
get
You expect to get fleas. Listen
Go
to
on.
y'all.
Okay.
No, go on.
Let's go.
Anyway, so are you saying that because she was there at a rally that was for him, she should not have been there?
No, I'm not saying that she shouldn't have been there. I think it's everyone's right to go wherever you want to go, and she should have been treated respectfully while she was there.
Right, regardless of.
But based on other news that we've heard of other people who've been protesters at his rally, that treatment was there and it's expected, and so she can't not expect that it's going to be there when you show up.
I think
Now
you
she
can
should
expect to be treated with a certain amount of dignity.
I agree.
The pushing and shoving.
That's disrespectful.
But
But
she wasn't the only person it happened to.
Oh,
but,
no,
You know,
no.
that
There was
was
another
several.
black man that was there who said he was a student, I believe, that said that he wasn't even protesting. He just got put out because they expected him
Right.
to be a part of the Black
Exactly,
Lives Matter.
but she wasn't even a part of that.
Right.
I think I agree. There's no reason for anyone to put hands on another human being.
Absolutely.
But I do agree with Lyndsey in this matter. You have the right to be there, but you have to expect to be in a situation, to place yourself in a room in a situation where you're not wanted. You set yourself
Well, how
up
do you
at
know
risk.
you're not wanted?
Oh,
Unless
because
you go
it's all
in.
over the news.
But here's the thing. My vote counts, and you don't know what
True
I'm
that.
thinking as far as if I'm going to vote for Trump or not, because unfortunately, there are African Americans that are considering voting for Donald Trump. You don't know if that's someone that's going to be voting for you or not, and you're just judging them off of what they look like,
know not what they
and
do.
so you're just pushing them out there. You're just pushing them out as if they don't matter, and it's like it's showing us what our country looks like right now, unfortunately.
And we can't be, to me, I don't think that we can accept that. We can't say, oh, well, you should not have been in the place in the first. No.
You know what?
Because what time are we living in? This is 2016.
You know what?
And again, she went peacefully. She didn't go with guns drawn.
Right.
She didn't go pushing, shoving anyone.
She was very strong because
Absolutely. She
was.
didn't fight back.
But let's look at the situation when the whole was the Confederate flag happened. There was a situation. It was on Facebook and it showed some young men riding through a neighborhood, shooting out words, negative words, and those people responded, and they responded violently. And so again, you can't take yourself in a situation and not expect the people react a different way. You have the right. They have the right to be there, but you cannot control other people's reaction.
That is
to
true.
it.
Right.
And if you know that that's the type of environment
Don't
that
put yourself
that's
there.
going to breathe, then you shouldn't be
you
there.
all better wake up. You all better wake up, honey.
I mean, well, okay, so
we can
I
move
think
on.
that it's okay to protest
I do
against
too.
what a person says, just maybe not at his rally.
Yeah.
You know, why go to his rally and protest
Because
against
that's
it?
where all the news is. That's where the cameras are, and that's where
true.
you can show that you don't agree with all the ignorance that's going on with that
Where
candidate.
else will they get a chance to speak to that person? I've actually participated in protests where I've actually stood on the steps of the Capitol protesting against certain bills that were going to get passed. And where else am I going to see you
Absolutely.
unless I come to the place where you are?
You can't be afraid to show up. I
Absolutely.
mean, if we stay afraid to show up for rights and for equality, then that takes away from the legacy that our grandmothers, grandfathers, and everyone else fought for. So
I totally agree, but you
I
just have
totally
to expect
disagree.
the treatment. Well, what I'm saying is you can do that. You can. If you want to, you can. And I think that there are things in life that we should stand for and push for, regardless of outside of race, but things that appeal to us in a lot of different ways.
I want my clothes to be a lot cheaper.
Done.
And no extra tax on
But I'm
them.
just saying, I just think too that when you do protest, you have to expect a reaction. And like Mel said, you can't really govern that as an individual. You can expect people to treat you nicely, but you as an individual can't govern how other people treat you.
I think maybe we feel like, you know, we're human beings, and that we wouldn't be subjected to that type of treatment.
Hopefully, but we've seen in the past in other areas where that wasn't necessarily the case. So you just kind of have to have a certain expectation.
But the thing is, what it brings me back to is the fact that our vote matters. And so not only does our vote matter, but several presidential candidates right now are contending for not just votes specifically, but black votes. So why do you all think that the black vote matters to many candidates? It may not matter to this specific candidate we were speaking to before, but the other candidates, why do you think they're fighting so hard for the black vote?
Well, Hillary and Bernie Sanders need it. I mean, the black vote changes elections, just like the young vote changes the election, just like the Hispanic votes change the election. The more people that you have that are out and they're casting their vote for issues that really matter to them and that affect their lives, and the more you're going to turn and swing an election. And the truth of the matter is that, I mean, Democrats, when people in those particular demographics show up and cast their vote, it changes how an election looks.
I agree, totally.
And if those same people had showed up and voted in this past election, I think that it would have changed even the gubernatorial race that we just recently had last year. So,
yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's just interesting that originally African Americans were actually a part of the Republican Party, then
because that's what their owners were a part of.
Right, they were a part of the Republican Party, and then we switched, well, not everybody, but a lot of them switched over to the Democratic Party. But I don't understand why certain individuals don't look at the African Americans or any minorities for that matter as voters. You're more so trying to push everyone else as I want you to come out to vote for me, but
and it doesn't
at
matter
some
if you all
point,
come
even
out.
though we may be minorities, our voices are extremely loud. You can see our influence all over this, all over America.
In every genre.
well, I'll say this. In a way, I agree and then I disagree with that statement. First, I think if you're dividing it into like a Democratic and a Republican side of things, I think that both sides contend for the black vote, but in different ways. For Republicans, a lot of times they push, and a lot of African Americans go to church, right?
Yes,
They are, you know, people that are very highly convicted religiously about a lot of issues. So on the Republican side, sometimes it's issues-based things that they push for that allow voters, especially those that are in African American communities, to switch from being a Democratic voter to a Republican voter over things that are usually involved in the person's race. So sometimes issues like marriage equality or abortion are those issues that kind of take people from being what would typically be a Democratic voter to a Republican voter. I think for Democrats, they push the black vote and want the black vote mainly because they're representing the issues that affect African Americans.
More of a liberal view and a liberal mindset.
Outside of just issues, it really is more of a lifestyle type of thing.
Right.
Dealing with, you know, whether
not just economics or a certain salary, you know.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, speaking of Donald Trump, he did a reality show. What was it called?
Oh, The Apprentice.
Apprentice. I mean, in this matter, do you think being on reality TV helps or harms someone's career? I mean, he's just an example, but you have so many people. You had Whitney Houston, who was on a reality show. You have
I think it depends on where you are prior to doing the reality show. A lot of these people were famous, and if you watch any VH1 shows, most of those people that are on those reality shows are unknowns.
Right.
And then they become famous, like Basketball Wives and all those people. As far as Donald Trump, his reality show, I think it gave people maybe an idea of what they think he's really like, because sometimes when we see people on TV, we think, oh, that person, I really like them, based upon a character that we've seen.
Well,
I'll say this. So what's Stevie J and what's the girl's name?
Jocelyn,
Stevie, baby.
the Puerto Rican princess.
Yes. Okay, I'll say this.
It's Stevie.
Stevie. Okay, excuse me. I didn't know who she was before she was on television, right? And I'm not saying in any way that I watched the show.
Absolutely. Love me some ratchet TV.
I'm a fan of ratchet TV sometimes. But I'll say this.
Love me some.
I'll say this. I didn't know who she was prior to, and I think that a lot of people didn't. So I think that it helped her a lot. However, ladies, we just got the cue. We got to go to break. We'll come back and talk about more. Listen, when we come back, we'll be talking about some more interesting topics. You all stay tuned. And don't forget to get scooped. All right, and we're back. Thank you all once again for tuning into the Elle Scoop. Listen, ladies, there is new legislation that is on the rise that is called menstrual leave. And okay, so in I know, sounds a little crazy, but listen, check it out and let me know what you think about it. So in certain countries, there's Taiwan, there's South Korea, there's another country, and even in the UK now, there's one company that has adopted this, but they are allowing women to have certain days to take off of work for their menstrual cycle.
Wow.
Do you think this is a good idea, or do you think that it's undermining to women as we kind of go forth to state our equality in the workplace?
That's what I was
Oh,
thinking.
I think it's a wonderful idea. Too bad it won't be for me, but honey, for everybody else, I think it's absolutely wonderful. And I know about the whole, oh no, because we want to have our equality, blah, blah, blah. Girl, sometimes I need that extra day off, so.
I mean, if they're going to give me the day, I'll take it. But, I mean, I don't necessarily need it.
Well, I agree with Freda. I think that it's helpful, especially for, you know, equality is one thing, but as far as menstrual, there are some individuals that truly go through some deep type things that they need another day going on. You know, women that are going through things that might cause them to need like hysterectomies or something. They're to get into it, their flow is like extra heavy. And they might not want to feel like leaving the bed. It wasn't our fault that the
apple was bitten in the first place.
I mean,
all right.
Let's say this though. Let's just open this up and let's add just another element to it to kind of look at this way. So now there's a really big deal and a big push on the Democratic side of issues, Democratic issues, to push that women should be paid equally the same as men. So equal pay for equal work, right?
Exactly.
Do you think that employers will look at it the same way, like, okay, so should I hire this woman because I'm going to have to give her extra days off that I won't necessarily have to give the man off?
They already look at it that way.
When you're hiring someone, is it right? Is it wrong?
They look at it. No matter what you think that they are looking at, they look at you when you walk in the door and you're pregnant and you're interviewing. They look at the whole thing. So I do think that.
Well, we're one of the few countries that don't have paid maternity leave. So you giving me a paid day off because of my menstrual cycle, at least that still balances it out. You go to another country, they have paid maternity leave.
They ain't gonna do nothing but turn around and tax our stuff. We talked about this already.
So we still not getting anything off.
Yeah, they gonna turn around and tax our stuff. So just let it be.
Would you all feel comfortable asking your boss for it? So say your boss was a male.
I feel comfortable enough to ask for the day off.
It's that day of the month. Would you feel comfortable saying to him, I need to go home because
more than likely I'm not going to have to really ask. They're going to already know what time it is based upon my behavior.
She has entered the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus be a fit.
All right, ladies, let's move on to a lighter subject. You know, springtime's coming, and everybody's ready to shed those winter clothes and winter coats and maybe throw on some capris and some short sleeves. You know, with all that, because in the wintertime, most of the time, everybody was doing Netflix and chilling. So, you know, we ate some cookies and cakes, gained a few extra pounds. And even though your boo was right there with you during this time, and now you're ready to put on some lighter clothes, would you be offended if he said, maybe you could stand to shed a few pounds?
If he said it like that, yes.
Yes. Okay,
so it's the way that it's presented.
Men can eat the same thing you eat and not gain anything. Okay, it's so upsetting. Anyways,
I
go
would
ahead,
rather
sir.
him, say, oh, let's, we're going to the beach. Let's go work out together. If you feel like you want me in a certain shape, although the person that I'm with is going to love every single bump, curve, and wave, but let's go work out together. I like working out anyway.
See, well, I brought this up in Drinks and Dialogues, and I actually told one of the guys, I said, no, it's okay, you go on without me. And he said, no, you better get your butt up and come on, too. So, I don't know if there's an easy way to tell a female at all.
I just
Okay,
think you
weight
say
is a
you look
sensitive-
good in whatever you got on.
Weight's a sensitive topic. Well, I mean,
Wait, it's a sensitive
it
topic.
is a sensitive topic. And okay, so I would want a
you
man to
cellulite.
stay kind of fit for me a little bit. Not, I think that you have to be realistic in the word fit. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Healthy.
Right, healthy. I mean, of course,
Healthy
you're going to
fit.
gain some weight. You have to expect that if you're thinking about somebody long term.
Right, that relationship weight and all that
Right,
stuff.
but you can't go from like Kevin Hart to, the Nutty Professor, right?
Oh,
like,
oh,
you can't.
I
you
like
can't-
the around the outside boys.
Sherman,
Okay,
Sherman.
no, I don't think there's anything wrong if you get into the relationship and he looks like Sherman, right? But I mean, if he starts out one way and looks another at the end, that can be a little disappointing, right?
But what if it was
So-
for a health condition? What if he ended
Okay,
up
that's
like
different.
that because of a thyroid
is
or
different.
something
That's
like
different.
that?
But we're
That's
just
right.
talking.
I was born big bone.
We're talking just
such
on the
thing.
basis of weight. So, right, and it's just, how you eat. So, I think that that's okay to address it in a relationship as long as it's done the right way.
It's not gonna be a right way. It's not a right way.
I might be
think
mad
that's
for a
Now,
minute
if
or
I'm
two, but
cooking
it's
all
okay.
types of macaroni and cheese and
Absolutely.
pound cakes and all that stuff, and the man has started, putting on a little bit, I might start switching out some ingredients.
You're
I'm
having
still gonna
broccoli
cook.
today, sir.
I mean, we're both going to be eating it though, so we're both going to be eating healthy and changing our diet, and I might just switch it and they're going to be like, when did we start?
Yeah.
Hey, we're both doing this. We're both on
Yeah,
this path.
that's a good way to go.
Yeah. Well, speaking of cooking healthy and being in a relationship where, the two may look a little bit different, have you all seen the show Blackish?
Yes.
Tracy
Love
Ellis
it.
Ross,
Favorite show.
Anthony. Look, first off, they are two different people. They have two different type of styles. But do they remind you of Bill and Claire from the Cosby Show? Like, I feel like Blackish is the present day Cosby Show.
I could go there.
I would
I
say
like
that.
that.
They don't remind
Present
me of
day.
Bill and Claire. But,
Really,
I
like
still like them.
they give me like this whole
2016.
Yeah, because he
The
was
new
the
version.
goofy, nerdy guy, and Claire. To me, Claire was always that classy. Like, I mean, yes, you can come sit with me, honey. Come on, it's okay.
It seems like
can
Bill
sit.
got on her nerves a lot.
Did you know they
That's
shamed
what I'm
him?
saying. That's
They
what
didn't like
Tracy
each other
and
at first. Before they got on the show, they did not
I
like
can
each other.
tell. I can tell from this.
What?
It seems like Bill always got on her nerves.
Because he was like
No,
75,
no,
she
no,
was
no.
like 32.
Not Bill
Oh,
Cosby.
okay.
And
Oh.
see, y'all
Oh,
doing too
that's
much.
what
Oh, my
talking
bad.
about.
I'm
I'm
talking
talking
about.
about.
Oh, you talking
I'm
about
talking
Anthony
Anthony
Anderson
and
Tracy
Tracy
Ross.
Ross.
Oh,
They didn't like each other at first. They didn't like each other before they came to Blackish.
Oh,
And then,
okay.
We
I don't
know
know. They had gotten into it about some things. They were on Good Morning America and they were talking about it. And so now they have a wonderful working
bet.
relationships. But I think that's kind of cool how relationships kind of change
Yeah.
and you can go from really not liking somebody
Right.
to
Yeah.
But I
thinking
really
the best of the person.
I appreciate seeing a black family where both parents, one, are in the picture and they're successful. They're teaching their kids, how to be adults and
right.
in the
Positive
world
role
as black
I
kids.
think their kids are cute.
They are.
To me, the kids kind of make
said
the
on
show a little bit.
The
Like
little girl, she's hilarious.
What's her
Diane,
name?
Diane on the show.
She's my favorite character.
They're
you
the
don't
twins.
watch Blackish?
I do, but it's in competition with something else that I watch.
Empire.
gosh.
Oh, I'll take Blackish anytime over Empire.
We will not go there. Go ahead, man.
I will. But I don't like how the representation that Empire has.
Okay.
In a way,
Okay.
I like Empire.
You can't try
Wait
to.
a minute.
We can't.
I'm sorry, Cookie.
Yeah.
Cookie is
Right.
Wednesday
Yeah.
here. I like.
Check for me.
I like Empire. I do. If I had to choose between the two, I'd of course choose Blackish. But
crack
when
up.
it
I
first
crack up during
when it first
Blackish.
came out, I did have an issue with the image that it portrayed of African Americans.
Well, but it's a true image.
Empire or Blackish?
check some neighborhoods in the inner city. It's so real.
Yeah,
It's
I think
so
so.
real.
It's as if to say, never mind.
Right. I said we have to.
Well,
that's
we
another
all,
show.
just me and you connected and vibing on that one. So, I mean, but Anthony and, what's her name?
Tracy
Tracy.
Ross.
They should have probably checked each other's statuses on Facebook because, well, I'm going to just go on. So Facebook has this thing where, you know, you're checking the box. It's complicated, single, married, a few others on Facebook. Is it important? What do y'all think about having to check your status for your relationship?
I don't even
I
look
think
at
if
it
it says
anymore.
it's complicated, it draws up too many questions.
Red
for
flag.
me. It's like, ooh, maybe you shouldn't be in that, right?
Right.
If it's, I mean, should you?
I don't.
If it's not defined, then you just shouldn't say anything about it.
Well, for some people, Facebook is their life.
That's
And
true.
so if it doesn't happen on Facebook, it's not real.
That's true.
I don't care about the status being checked or not because I'm going to check you when you get home if you didn't do what you needed to do.
What
in
she
person.
said.
It went down.
So,
to you.
yeah, no.
That just happened.
That's just me, though.
ladies and gentlemen.
I just feel like it's complicated saying means to me. It's complicated means I'm in something right now, but I'm still checking for you. All of you Facebook,
everybody.
people.
Or it makes me think that the other person is just really not that interested. Because if you put it's complicated, it means you care enough to say that you're in something, and that other person is not really locking it down.
What about the people who get mad about?
That's just
like,
how I view it.
Yeah, people fall out
What
over
about
that stuff.
What about the people who get mad about you not checking we in a relationship or we married on the status?
Is it necessary for Facebook? I think
It
For a lot of
depends,
people, it is.
I think if a person's on, if you really like somebody, they'll end up somewhere on your Facebook wall or
Exactly.
somewhere. So you don't necessarily have to put the status. However, ladies, we're at our 30-minute limit, so we have done it once
good.
again. Give yourself a round of applause. Amen. You all listen. Make sure that you check out the next show. It comes on every Sunday at 5 o'clock and also every Sunday at 8 o'clock. We hit prime time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you. You all be sure to check it out. Check out the website too. It's www.ellscoop.com. And if you have any questions that you would like for us to discuss here on the show,
That's good.
email us at info@ellscoop.com. You all stay tuned until next time.